Unwinding is a therapy that you undoubtedly will find to be particularly useful. I'd like to give just a couple of illustrations and demonstrations of what it might look like. First of all, a caution. You may be having difficulty with some restrictions, for example, in your right foot. It's all jammed up, or right hand. Do not necessarily believe that the issue really is at the locality of where the problem exists. So if the restriction is in the right hand, the problem may actually not reside in the hand. It may reside in the elbow, or more than likely the shoulder. If you have an issue with your foot, very likely the problem may be with your hip. What does unwinding then look like? Well, instead of necessarily targeting any particular place that needs to be unwound, you can just literally sit and begin to move your body in the direction of ease. You never want to force a movement in a direction that winds up being difficult. So if there's any resistance at all, you stop right there and see where your body needs to move next. You are not, with your intention, moving anything. You are literally following the guidance that your body is giving you as to how you need to unwind. When there's trauma, the tissues, particularly the fascia, get all crumpled up. It's like a wet wash rag that is twisted and then set out in the sunshine as we have here today to dry. That's literally how the fascia look. The fascia is a layer that is imposed on all of the tissues. It's white and it's pretty transparent. The fascia is basically a communication mechanism throughout the entire body, so it's a rather essential tissue for you to be able to ensure that instead of being twisted, it's rather untwisted, it's moist, and it's basically level and covering all the tissues as it needs to. So one of the benefits of unwinding is it literally untwists, it softens, and it moisturizes the fascia, which can have a huge impact on your overall health. So how does unwinding work? Well, you can take a specific appendage, for example, a hand. And what I can do with my left hand is basically begin to move my right hand, as you see right here. And all I am doing is I am just allowing that right hand to move in whatever direction of ease it wishes to move, however slowly or however quickly that needs to actually happen. Now, right now, I'm in a place where I could push this through, but it would be forcing it. When I force the movement, the body constricts, and I create more embedded trauma. So you never want to force it. I'm not going to force the movement in this direction anymore. I can just hold it there for a while, or I can ask my body, where do you want to move next? And it sounds like it wants to move out just a little bit, and then back around this way. So I'm moving my right hand with my left hand in the direction of ease. Now I'm basically unwinding my wrist. You can unwind a finger, a thumb, an arm, a shoulder. It obviously helps when you're getting to shoulders to find a family member or friend or a therapist who will actually do the unwinding for you. You can also literally unwind the entire body. I think the head is a marvelous kind of an appendage to focus unwinding on. So literally, you can begin to move your head around. And again, I have no predisposed idea of where this is supposed to go. And I can tell I've now hit an area of resistance. I really am not going to do my body any good if I try to continue to move in this direction. So I'll hold it here. And then look at this. My body needs to go back in this direction. I hope I'm still on the video. And then it sounds like I need to go over here to the right. And notice these are very slow, fluid movements. I'm probably going to go now out of the screen of the video. I'm going over to my left, and I'm going back now, and my body really wants to go back, so I would probably be advantaged to have a little more room to begin to continue to do this particular work. The body, when you're doing unwinding, can move in the most unbelievable contortions. And when a person, a therapist, is working with an individual on, for example, a massage table, perhaps a craniosacral therapist or an energy healing doing unwinding, the person can get into positions that they never knew they could get into. So what happens is when you're working in the direction of ease, you are literally unraveling that wash rag that has been twisted and dried. You are helping the body to release all of that tension that has been embedded at the cellular level. I love this therapy because it's a therapy that you can do throughout the day, at night, if you can't sleep. It's something you can always do for yourself. A therapist is not necessarily required. It's a delicious way to be able to get tension and stress out of your physical body in the moment. So the key to remember about unwinding is you can do it anywhere, anytime. It basically is a question of simply starting with figuring out where your body wants to move in the direction of ease and remembering never to force. There's no right or wrong way for unwinding. You literally just have to listen to your body. It will give you the signal when you have to stop. Sometimes there'll be a still point for several minutes where you literally don't want to move. There's a release happening there of trauma that's embedded at the cellular level. And then when you're ready to move again, you proceed to move. Now you see how fast I'm moving. It may be that your body will want to move much faster. It might want to move much slower. It may want to go in all sorts of different directions. It really is always different when you set unwinding in motion. I've had many interviews with persons who have been participants in this course, Jumpstart to Recovery, and the reports that I get back is, whoa, from people, this really does help. I feel so much better when I unwind. It's a therapy that's not a one-time therapy. It's a therapy you can always access yourself. Again, this is one that always puts you in the driver's seat, no one else. But let me also say, it really is quite wonderful also to find a therapist that, particularly those who are trained in craniosacral therapy, who can facilitate unwinding for you. That can be also a quite marvelous and revealing experience. Remember the goal. The goal is trauma's embedded. Let's now get it out of the body so that it no longer drags you down into the gutter. It's time to see that life force surge so that you can become all that you are, and so that these symptoms no longer become so problematic that you can't get on with the deliciousness of living life at its best.